Om. Om, 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 Om. Welcome to this self-healing workshop for enhancing the body immunity. Okay, so we're going to get started in a few minutes. We're still waiting for the people to come in. Now we're going to pay respect to my Satguru, Yogi Raj. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om. Now the agenda for today's workshop. First, we're going to discuss the reasons why we even need a workshop to enhance immunity. Why weren't we born with full immunity, or how come as we grow we lose some of our immunity? So what are the causes of this weak immunity? In fact, what causes sickness to arise, which is a big thing now since we are in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic. So it'd be good to understand a little bit. I mean, it won't help us overcome the virus by understanding the causes, but it will also help us to find the remedy. Okay, the remedy, is it in the medical area? Eventually will be, but the biggest medical miracle is actually our own body. So we cannot control when the medical foundations, the researchers, they will find a vaccine or a cure. What we can do is something to do with our body, mind, and our energy body, emotional body, mental body, all different facets of ourselves. Those we have some control over. Okay, and that's where this self-healing workshop comes in. Okay, we can enhance our own immunity without waiting for the vaccine or the cure, which will eventually come. Okay, so we're going to discuss and I'm going to share with you a series of techniques to form a short routine for about 15-20 minutes of a routine that you can do every day that will help you strengthen your immunity. Okay, so that's the goal of the workshop today. All right? So first of all, what is the reason we have weak immunity? Right? So scientists would say it could be nature or nurture. Nature is the genetics. That means what kind of genes we were all born with. Some of us have genes which were predisposed for having weaker immunity or other kinds of health problems. Okay, so that is genetics. Okay, so then the nurture, what they mean by nurture is the society you grow up in, the family you grow up in, what kind of food you had, the health conditions, the air you breathe, the food you eat, the water you drink. And then as you grow up, your habits, what kind of habits you have right now. Okay, are they good for your health? You know, when you are growing up and you eat the food you eat now? Are they healthy food, or are they food that is not good for your body? So that can also affect the immunity. The air you breathe, if you work in an environment that is bad, or you live in a place where they have huge smog or problems with the air, then that can also cause the body to react, and that will affect your well-being, affect your health. Okay, so that's what nurture is all about. So that's how the scientists will look at the situation. From a yogic perspective, our answer to the question of what causes weak immunity and actually what causes sickness to arise within us, the answer is always karma. Okay. Karma is the law of cause and effect. It's a cosmic law. Okay. For every action, there is a reaction. So the sum total of all the things we've ever done has been recorded and has an effect. Okay, so the effect may be delayed, may not happen in a particular lifetime, will be stored so that it comes out in a different lifetime. So now we're talking about a different concept, which is that we get reincarnated. So there are two concepts here, the law of karma, and then there's the reality of reincarnation. Now, whether you believe in these two things or not, this is the model that the yogis subscribe to, that they utilize to try to understand the reality, what happens to us. Okay, so when somebody is born with a particular genetic predisposition, we say that they are born with a particular physical karma. Okay, because from our point of view, what is physical karma? It is in the genes. Okay, the scientists may say that genes are just a probability. The chromosomes that were passed on to the baby from the parents and their grandparents and so on. And it is just a matter of chance what the particular genes which are active within you. But from a yogic point of view, we say there is no such thing as chance or luck. Okay, it is all karma. It is all a cause and effect. So everything has a cause. And for every cause, there's an effect. Okay, so the physical karma is in your genes. And we also look at the body as not just the physical body. A human body has the physical body, which we are all very familiar with. But we also have an energy body, have an emotional body, an intellectual mind body, and a karma body. Okay, so we have these 5 bodies. We're like those Russian dolls, one inside another one. Have you ever seen those? Well, that's what our bodies are like. Now, these bodies are not spiritual in that sense. They're also material, but they're made of very much finer material. Just like wavelengths of light, we are familiar with physical light, okay, the visible light that we can see. Okay, so the red and up to violet and indigo. Those we can see, the visible spectrum. But we cannot see the ultraviolet or the infrared and also all the cosmic rays. We cannot see that with our eyes. Okay, even some instruments have to be invented to be able to detect them, and there are still some rays that instruments have not been able to detect. Okay, so our bodies, the energy body especially, which we're most concerned with in the self-healing workshop, it's made of finer matter. Okay, matter at a higher vibration so that instruments cannot detect it, our eyes cannot see it yet. But that doesn't mean that in the future, instruments will not be able to detect them. Okay, so keep in mind that the physical body is only one part of our bodies, okay, our whole being. Right? So the karma works on our physical body through the genes. So we are born with our thyroid gland may be weak, or our thymus is weak or strong, or somebody has the adrenal glands are stronger, another one has weaker. So it's all in our genes. Okay, so that's the physical genetics of karma. Then in the energy body, what is this energy body? The energy body is what we call the pranamaya kosh. And that's where we have our chakras. Okay, since you're attending this workshop, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with chakras, the energy centers, the pranic centers, the lotuses. Okay, there are many names for these chakras. And these chakras, they actually store pran, the life force energy. And it is the life force energy that is distributed through energy channels called nadis to the physical organs, to feed the physical organs with life force. Okay, so the pran has to go to the physical body to make the physical body alive. Okay, the physical body cannot be alive just with the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and all these other chemicals. There's a missing ingredient the scientists are not taking into account, and that is the life force energy, the pran. When the life force energy is weak, the body is weak. When the life force energy cannot get to a particular organ, a physical organ, that organ becomes weaker. So a person whose heart chakra, okay, is not sending the life force to the heart, the physical heart, or enough life force, the heart will weaken over time, and the person will have weak heart and have heart problems because the pran, the life force, is not being distributed correctly to the physical body. Okay, so the heart chakra is responsible for that particular function. So these chakras, why are we not all born perfect with all our chakras functioning perfectly? The answer again is the karma. So it is the energetic karma, the prana karma, that affects our chakras. So our chakras are not all equal. Somebody's heart chakra is strong, another person's heart chakra is weak. Somebody's heart chakra, the throat chakra is strong. The Vishuddha chakra is strong. Another person's Vishuddha chakra is weaker. Okay, so over time, these causes problem. Okay, so the chakras which are weak because of the karma we're born with will eventually cause physical problems, and that's how we get sick. That's how our immunity is affected. Okay, so it is all in the chakras as well as in the genes. Okay, so I'm only talking about these two factors, but actually there's also the emotional mind body. The karma actually predisposes us to feel certain emotions. We can get depressed. Some people get depression easier than other people. Other people are more optimistic. Even when they're born and they grow up, they're always more optimistic. Another person gets angry easier. What are these differences? Okay, these are karmic programs which are in the emotional mind body. Okay, so it's the same with the intellectual mind body. Okay, so there are programs from the karma. But we're not so concerned about those right now. Our concern is with the genetics and with the pranamaya kosh, the karma in the energy body. Okay, those we can affect. The physical body, you can take good care of the physical body. It doesn't matter what it is right now. If you want to increase the body immunity, okay, eat better food, fresh food. Okay, one's diet is very important. Take supplements. Okay, take certain herbal medicine. Okay. A highly recommended one for Ayurveda is the Chayavana Prash. Okay, so, but that is not the only one. You can find Chinese herbal medications, other kinds of Ayurvedic medications. Okay, and don't forget the vitamin supplements. Vitamin D is very important for the immunity. So you need to make sure your body is getting the right chemicals. Okay, the right kind of food, the right kind of vitamins. Okay, of course, I would highly recommend that you do exercising. Okay, asanas are very good for you, for the physical body. And they actually have an effect on the pranamaya kosh too. When you press on a particular part of your body, it will affect on the chakras. Okay, so the asanas that the yogis recommend are also very good for your health, well-being, and immunity. Okay, so, but a lot of you don't want to do or are not interested in the yoga asanas. You can walk. Walking is also good. Keep active. Keep the body active. Those are the things you can do for the physical body. Okay. You can also do the exercises that I have taught in the past, like the Surya Yoga, the Siddhanath Surya Yoga, that you can go and absorb sunlight during the early morning or the late evening or before sunset. You can get your vitamin D from the sunlight. And the sun is not just giving you the vitamin D, it's going to give you the pran. Okay, so you can absorb the pran through the air and through your skin directly from the sun. And that is the practice of the Siddhanath Surya Yoga, which I highly recommend that you keep doing. Okay, so now I've described how karma, is affecting our physical and energetic body. But then you say, if it's all karma, what can we do? I mean, how can we do anything against karma? Does it mean everything is fixed? Nothing can be changed then. Okay, far from that. Okay, you must understand that there are different types of karma. The first type of karma is called the sanchit karma. The sanchit karma is all the stored up karma that we have accumulated over many lifetimes. It's your big bank account of karma. Most of that karma you will withdraw into one lifetime or the other. Okay, you're not using it, it's not being active, it's not activated. It's in the bank, it's in storage. That's a sanchit karma. Okay. And then we have the prarabdha karma. That's the one that we're most concerned with. The prarabdha karma is the one that we have withdrawn into this lifetime, and we are going to be affected by it. It is the actualized karma, the karma that is being activated. Okay, that is the karma that is causing you to be a tall person, a short person, a man, a woman, all your genetics, the health and the ill health. Okay, that's all in your prarabdha karma. and how your chakras are, one chakra strong, one chakra weak. That is the prarabdha karma in this lifetime. Okay, that's the most important, the karma that we have to deal with. The third karma, kriyaman karma, is the karma you are accumulating new. The new karma normally will not be affecting you right away. It goes into the sanchit karma, but sometimes it can play out even in this lifetime. So that's hard to say. But those are generally not very strong. Okay, the kriyaman karma is what you're doing right now. The good thoughts you have, the good actions you're doing right now, those become stored. They're the kriyaman karma. Okay, so we're mostly concerned with the prarabdha karma. And then in the prarabdha karma, you have to know that there are different grades of prarabdha karma. There's karma that is fixed. They are very strong. They're very powerful. And those will take a lot of effort, maybe almost inhuman effort, godlike effort to change. Okay, so those are called drid. They are very fixed. Then there are the prarabdha karma, which we call the adrid drid, which is sort of fixed and also not fixed. So those take more effort, but can be changed with some effort. And then there is the adrid. Adrid means they are not fixed. Okay, so they are easily changed. So we have to understand why we sometimes say, oh, we can't change that, or this can be changed easily. Some karma can be easily affected. Some karma, more effort. And then there are some other karma would take a great saint or you'd have to be self-realized yourself to be able to change that karma. It is such a big and strong factor from maybe built up from many past lifetimes. Okay, so if you understand that there's these kinds of grades of karma, then you can understand why we can have what we call upaya. Upaya means the methods, the techniques we can use to overcome some of these karma. Okay, so there are some methods which are for the easy affected karma, some for the more difficult karma, and some for really, really difficult karma. Okay, so depending on which kind of karma we are suffering from at this particular time. So that gives you a little bit of overview of the karmic scenario, okay, the landscape. So let's drill down back into what we're doing. We're saying we're going to use certain techniques and certain methods. Okay, what are these techniques and what are these methods? Okay, we are going to use mudras. Now, what are mudras? Okay, mudras are actually, there are different types of mudras, but mudras actually change the energy channels. It changed the way the energy is going to move in your energy body. Okay, and by definition, when you change the movement in your energy body, it will change the movement of life force into your physical body. So there are many different types of mudras. The ones we are concerned with are the hasta mudras, the one which we use our fingers. Okay, we form certain connections with our fingers. Why? The fingers contain a lot of nerve channels. You're very sensitive. Okay, their nerves are very, very sensitive. But you don't see it, but there's also many tiny chakras and nadis, many energy channels there in the pranamaya kosh. It's also very complex in your hands. That's why there's healing chakra in your palm for doing healing. Your fingers have a lot of chakras. When you form a particular mudra, connect certain fingers together, you are recalibrating, you are recircuitizing your energy channels, not just the nervous system. Okay, you're forming new nerve connections in your brain, but you're also forming new connections in your chakras. Okay, so that's what the Hasta Mudras do. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to change the energy in your body so that they go to the places which will help you increase your immunity. That's what the mudras are going to be doing. The mantras we are going to use are those which make vibrations and sounds which affect the particular chakras and particular pran that we need to access. Okay, so mantras are sounds that we're making with our mouth, with our voice, vocal cords. Okay, but it is based on the fact that the whole universe is vibrating. All the atoms vibrate. Everything is in vibration. Even light is vibration. Okay, light is just a higher frequency than sound. So sound has an effect on our atoms, on our body, and sound has an effect on our chakras and on our pran. Okay, so that's why we can use these combinations of sounds, which we have classified as mantras. Okay, and where do these mantras come from? They come from great yogis who have gone into realized states, into higher states of consciousness, and they're able to detect the sound patterns, and they come back and say, these sound patterns are good for this. Those sound patterns are good for that. Okay, it's their experience, and we are benefiting from their experience. Okay, we cannot just make up the sounds that we want to use. They have to come from a realized yogi. Okay, somebody who tells us what will work and what won't work. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend many years, experimenting with certain sounds. Okay, you look into your heart and say, okay, I'm going to use the sound oh. How is it affecting my heart? It would take you years to experiment and figure out. Okay, whereas the realized masters have already done all the hard work for us. So we just have to make an effort. Okay, one of the main things about self-healing is that we have to make an effort. If you want to increase your immunity, you have to make the effort. It's not a pill that you just take. I've said you can take vitamin D supplements. Yes, that will help your physical immunity. Okay, and doesn't affect, need much work from you. But if you want to change your throat chakra, if you want to get rid of all the bad karma in your throat chakra so that you have a stronger immunity, you're going to have to do some work. Why? Because the weak throat chakra is caused by our karma, and the karma is caused by our own actions. And it is our own actions that will take away that karma, whatever it is. Right? So that is the law that is passed down to us, so that we can use these techniques to help us get rid of the karma that is inhibiting our chakras. Today, I'm only focusing mainly on the throat chakra because the throat chakra is the one that has the strongest effect on our immunity. All right, but there's also other chakras which help, and we will touch on those and do some work on those as well. Right, so that is what we're going to be doing today. So before we get started on the actual techniques, okay, I just want to remind you that we're all in self-isolation at home, most of us in this world. So am I. Okay, so this is actually a very good opportunity that has been given us to make deeper inroads, to make progress on our spiritual path. So those of you who are on the spiritual path, take this opportunity of being at home and practice more. Okay, don't let this opportunity slide by. Okay, so that in a month or two, when everything is going back to semi-normal, then you'll have less time to practice. This is a great time to look inwards. Okay, to examine yourself and practice. So take advantage of that. Now, of course, there is a lot of suffering in this world right now. And unfortunately, we are all suffering from this particular karma. And this is not a personal karma. This is a karma of humanity. It is affecting all human beings in this world. So there's so much suffering. It makes us want to cry. And we wonder, how can people survive who are not as lucky as us, you know, who have our own homes, or we have savings so that we can survive while not working. Other people are losing their work. So we need to send out our love and our compassion to all the people who are suffering. And never forget that even while you are practicing, that there are other people who don't even have the water to clean their hands. We say, let's wash our hands so that we will be safe. There are people who may not have water. They live in areas where there's no fresh water, no water supply, and they have to walk to a well or go somewhere and to try to take some water. So the world is very different. Many people are in different situations. So we should always take a moment after our practice to give thanks for what we have and pray that the Lord, the universe, will have compassion for those who are suffering, so to end their suffering or help them. So that is always a very important thing that we should learn to do. So let us all give a moment of silence and pray for all those people who are suffering because of humanity's karma. Now, we are not so great that we can take care of humanity's karma. There are great beings who may be able to do that. But what we can do, what we can control, is what we can do ourselves. Okay, so you can take better care of yourself. Okay, one of the things that you can do, it's not a replacement for, you know, wearing a mask or social distancing 6 feet or washing your hands properly. But if you have to go out, it is highly recommended that you repeat a protection mantra. And I've taught this protection mantra, which is from my master Yogi Raj, in many years and in different workshops. So I always say this mantra myself whenever I have a chance, when I go out, or even when I feel like I want to connect and feel protected. It is very simple, and I'm sure all of you may have learned it in the past. Om Ring Rang Raksha Raksha Goraksha. Om Ring Rang Raksha Raksha Goraksha. Om Ring Rang Raksha Raksha Goraksha. So my master gave this mantra as a great protection mantra, and it invokes the protection of Mahavatar Babaji. Okay, Goraksha means protector of cows, and Babaji is the protector of cows. We're the cows, we're the animals of the fields to the great beings. Okay, so please try to learn this mantra and repeat it, and feel the protective aura of Babaji and my master around you.